Alright, this is where the exciting part takes place, I guess. To shape this thing and bend it, finally get it where I need it. So I got two more lines to make. What I'm going to do is come up from the bottom edge, 2 inches. And that doesn't have to be exact either. I'm just basically going to put a little mark right here at 2 inches up. So when I make my lines coming down, my diagonal lines, that's where I'm going to stop them. You don't want to bring the diagonal lines all the way to the bottom, because you'll end up with 5 different bends hitting this edge, and eventually that edge will split and crack. So that's not really what we want to do. Alright, so to make these edges, notice I hadn't rounded this off yet because I want that corner to put my ruler at, have a sharp edge to come down. And I'm going to come from that 2-inch mark to this point right here for my first diagonal line, and then the same with that point to that 2-inch mark. I'm probably a little too picky about that because it's not that exact, but you can kind of see the basic shape of it, how it's going to be. Alright, the other 2 lines I have to make are where the wings fold out on the sides to actually mount to the number plate. Now you can see this thing has still got the curve in it where it came off the cam. So this is where I'm telling you, the curve is really not an issue, alright? And it'll bend out. So I just want to mash that down. And I want to go from that top corner that I made to about a 1/2 inch from the center line right here. Alright, and just make a line for the outer wings right there. Okay, do both sides. You just have to kind of press that bend out about a 1/2 inch off the center line there. Mark that line. Alright, and now I'm just going to start shaping it. And you could put this out in the sun or in the microwave or whatever and heat it up if you wanted to. It might make it easier to bend. I'm sure it would, but I've never done it. It's just, to me, it's just not that difficult to bend. So anyway, to form the thing, basically I start with the center line and just bend it in half to a point on that center line. Alright, once I get that crease started, I want the top to be pretty creased to pretty much a point. But then as you work your way down, you don't want to bend it as much as you go down. Okay, this bend it's going to be there and give it a little shape, but it's not actually going to be, you know, a crisp bend. Alright, and the farther I get down, the less I'm going to crease it. Okay, so got that center line creased almost to the 2-inch mark right there. And that's about as far as I want to go. Alright, then the side creases, these are more difficult because you start them on this corner. That makes it tough to crease initially. But if you'll bend the whole thing along that line. Just kind of fold the whole thing over, then you can work your way up to the top of that line a little easier. And I try to make it, I basically try to pinch it. And you just work your way down that line. And I don't really know if any of this is on the camera. Alright, sharper bends at the top, not so sharp at the bottom. Alright, just enough to hold it shape, basically. Maybe the next one I make, I'll heat it up and see if this is easier. But it's not really that difficult to do. Alright, so you see I've kind of got basic shape there, basic lines. Let's try to keep it kind of symmetrical. Okay, the wings are kind of the hardest part to do because they fold back up the other way. The main thing is just to get it on that point. And make sure it's on the line down here. Get it started and then just fold it over. Alright, and then when you're done, just kind of make sure all the folds kind of hold their shape. And that's it. That's your windscreen. And then all you do from there is put your Velcro. The Velcro strips just cover this area with Velcro right here. And then you kind of put that on your number plate, and you can see where that Velcro goes. It'll go from the top corner of your number plate down to the front edge right there. You can see this part right here is rounded, and that's kind of what you're looking for. I had that notched out. It came up a little short, so I scrapped that one. But this rounded edge fits the front of the number plate just right. And what you'll have to do is kind of bend the sides in and adjust it to fit on the number plate. But you're looking for these corners. You just line the corners up when you stick it on there with your Velcro. When the corners are lined up, you just mash it down and it's there. It's good to go. And you can see how this this space that I left here if I brought these all the way down to here, then I'd have, and if I brought these to a point, I'd have all 5 lines hitting that center part, and that I think would end up splitting the plastic. So so stopping the lines there, it still has the exact same shape pretty much. It just keeps this part rounded, and it fits the rounded part of the number plate better. All right, but that's it. And once you get it done, basically you just take your pencil and erase that line. Or you can take some Wesley's wheel bleach, spray it on there and wipe it, and it'll come off. Good to go. So that's what's left of the trash can when you're done. That and sections of the top part that I chucked off. That's the one I used. I got another one downstairs like that. So you can reuse your template over and over again, as many different angles as you want to try. Keep the same template and then just use poster board for different angles and adjust. And the one that I did, the changes that I made, you can see how minute these changes are. That's like 1/4 of an inch, that's like 1/8. Makes a huge difference in the way the screen, the angle of attack of the screen. So don't go drastic on your changes, but you can kind of play around with that and see the difference. As far as the height, I always use 15 inches. To me, that's what works best. So anyway, there it is. That's how it's made. Maybe that'll answer any questions you have. Good luck with it.